All right, welcome to this deep dive. Today we are tackling something a lot of people find super important, introducing yourself in English. You sent us a document called How to Introduce Yourself in English .pdf. Seems like it's from something called EnglisPodcast.
Right.
We're going to pull out the most useful and interesting things to help you introduce yourself in English confidently.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation. This material has a bunch of practical phrases and examples in different scenarios, like casual or formal settings. Okay, let's jump right in.
Sure.
See what we can find.
Let's do it.
The document says that most introductions start with a greeting.
Oh.
You know, the basics. It gives us hello, hi, and the more time-specific ones like good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Right.
And it has this simple example. Hi, my name is Maria. So when you look at those basic greetings, what comes to mind?
You know, it's funny because it seems so simple, right? Just saying hi or hello, but there are these little nuances that can make a big difference.
I see.
Like, think about where you'd normally say hi.
Okay.
It's usually with friends or in casual settings. Hello feels a bit more versatile. Like, you can use it in a wider range of situations.
I see.
And those time of day greetings, I think they show a level of attentiveness, especially in professional settings or when you're meeting someone for the first time during that part of the day.
Right.
It sets the tone from the very beginning.
Tone is definitely important.
Right.
Now, the next step is saying your name and where you're from.
Right.
The material suggests I'm name or my name is name. And for origin, I'm from Country City.
Yeah.
Like the example, I'm Alex and I'm from Brazil. It's super direct.
It is.
Why do you think these elements are so important at the start?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
When you meet someone new, you want to establish your identity and connect with them. Sharing your name is the first thing. Right. People will use to refer to you. And telling them where you're from can create a sense of shared background, whether it's geography or culture.
Yeah.
It's like providing a little piece of information that others might relate to.
Yeah.
The directness helps avoid any awkwardness and lays the foundation for further conversation.
Right.
It's about establishing those initial anchors.
Makes a lot of sense. The third important part is your occupation or student status. If you are working, you could say, I'm a job, or I work as a profession.
Yeah.
They use the example, I'm a software engineer.
Makes sense.
If you're a student, you can say, I'm a student, or I study subject. It's amazing how much information you can convey in such a short time.
It is.
How do you usually introduce yourself in that regard?
It's interesting because those short descriptions, they actually offer a glimpse into your daily life and who you are, right?
Right.
If you're meeting someone professionally, your job title gives them context.
Right.
For your skills and expertise. For students, it shows what they're focusing on.
Yeah.
And where they might be headed in the future. It helps the other person quickly understand what you do.
Right.
And it can open up conversations about your work or studies.
I see. So we've covered the essential parts. Now the material talks about adding some personal touches.
Okay.
The first one is sharing your hobbies and interests.
Right.
You can use phrases like, I like, love, and joy activity.
Makes sense.
They give the example, I love hiking and photography. This seems important for building connections. What kind of impact do you think sharing hobbies can have on a first impression?
Well, this is where the introduction becomes more than just stating facts.
Definitely.
It's about building a relationship.
Yeah.
Sharing a hobby gives you a chance to find something in common. Imagine you say you love cooking and the other person is a foodie. That could lead to a much more interesting conversation than just talking about your jobs. It reveals something about your personality, what you do for fun, and makes you more relatable and memorable.
Makes you more than just a name and a job title. The document also mentions something optional. Your reason for learning English.
Okay.
You could say, I'm learning English to goal.
Right.
For example, I'm learning English to travel more. Do you think there's any benefit to sharing that goal when you introduce yourself?
Definitely. It shows you have a purpose, a reason for learning. It provides context. And you might even connect with others who have similar aspirations.
Right.
Or who can offer help. Like, if your goal is to travel, someone who has traveled a lot might give you tips. It also shows that you're proactive and want to improve yourself.
I like that point about finding potential connections and support.
Yeah.
Lastly, in this section, we have a closing line.
Right.
Like, nice to meet you, or it's a pleasure to meet you. These are polite ways to wrap up the introduction and invite further interaction.
Right.
Do you see any subtle differences in those phrases?
Oh, definitely. Nice to meet you is a standard, friendly closing. Good for most situations. It's a pleasure to meet you is a bit more formal.
Right.
It puts more emphasis on how much you enjoyed the meeting.
Yeah.
You would choose one or the other, depending on how formal the situation is, the impression you want to make. But both of them signal the end of the introduction in a polite way.
So we've built this framework for an introduction. But it's much clearer when you see it in action. The document gives us example dialogues in different settings.
Okay.
Let's start with a casual setting, like meeting a friend. Hey, I'm Sam. I'm from Canada. I love music and soccer. Nice to meet you. What stands out to you about how Sam puts it all together in a casual way?
Well, right away you notice how informal it is with that hey.
Right.
It's short and sweet, covering name, origin, and a couple of interests. Music and soccer are pretty common hobbies, so it's easier to find common ground there. And ending with nice to meet you fits perfectly with the casual tone.
Makes sense.
It's friendly and encourages more conversation in a relaxed way.
Right. It sounds very natural. Let's move on to a formal setting.
Okay.
Like a job interview. Good morning. My name is Priya. I'm a marketing specialist with 5 years of experience. I'm excited to be here today. Here, the focus is on professional details. And there's a clear expression of enthusiasm.
Right.
What differences do you see between this and the casual introduction?
The tone and content are totally different. The greeting is more formal with good morning. Priya says, my name is, which sounds more professional than just I'm Emma.
Right.
And importantly, she highlights her job title and experience, which is crucial in a job interview.
Okay.
Mentioning her 5 years of experience adds to her credibility. And saying she's excited shows she's interested in the opportunity.
Right.
In this situation, her hobbies don't matter. It's all about showing she's qualified for the job. It really shows how important it is to tailor your introduction to the specific context.
Right. It's about being aware of what information is relevant and appropriate.
Yeah.
So to wrap up this deep dive into introducing yourself in English,
Okay.
you should now have a better understanding of the essential parts. From greetings to adding personal details and adjusting your approach for different situations.
Right.
The material you shared was really helpful.
It was.
It gave us a clear structure, key phrases, and practical examples.
Yeah.
The main thing to remember is to be clear, comfortable, and make a good first impression. Think about how you can combine your name, origin, job, or student status, hobbies, reasons for learning English, and closing lines in a way that feels true to yourself.
Yeah.
What's really fascinating is how these simple introductions can lead to meaningful conversations and connections. So here's something to think about. How might consciously working on and practicing your English self-introduction impact your confidence and the quality of your interactions with others?
That's a great question to ponder.
Right. It's pretty amazing.
That is.
How such a small thing can have a big impact.
Yeah, it really can.
All right, that's all the time we have for today.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into introducing yourself in English.
It was a pleasure.
Until next time.
Bye.